And there we go, 2 bags of Quikrete Mason Mix Type S mortar for the shower base under the vinyl, and then we'll use concrete over the vinyl. Oh yeah.
Put that on one of your videos here, so the town here at the hardware store.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir, can I assist you? Okay, kids, we are going to mortar over the Unknown Mechanics farm barn shower base. So it is a concrete shower base, and we have put about a 1/4-inch layer of thin set mortar on the concrete, and then what we're going to do is put this here very thick mix of, well, actually a very dry mix of Type S mortar that is rated for below grade service. And so you mix this up just until the mortar has no more white dry mix in it. You just want all the mix damp. And so what we're doing right now is just going to take the last of the thin set and stir that in with the rest of it. And so we're using the thin set because thin set has a bonding agent in it that will help to bond to the floor where the existing concrete is. So we're just going to kind of mix that in with this stuff, and then we're going to start shoveling it in and making mortar base. And what we are going to do here is we have a 1/4 inch of space lift on the drain, and so we're going to slope it from the top of the 2x4 around the perimeter. You see the 2x4 all around here, and slope it down into the drain. And then tomorrow we will put the vinyl base. See how we have the 2x6 blocking all around the shower stall to support the back, to support the fold up onto the wall of the vinyl base. And then we'll also be adding a 2x6 here, and that is a nailer for wallboard. The Durock will come to about here, which is over the threshold, and then switch to sheetrock. And then also it will serve as a fastening board for a shower rod if it turns out we need that. And then the other thing we'll do is put a couple of coats, 3 coats of RedGuard on this T111 wall here, and then we will put Durock over that. And then we will mortar and tape all these walls in the shower stall with Durock, including the ceiling, and then we will skim coat the entire Durock surface so that it is all nice, flat, smooth, and sealed with mortar. And then we will give that 3 quarts of RedGuard too. Okay, so let us get started putting our stuff out here. I guess, where's that flat trowel? There. Okay. And so we're going to just,
Ready?
Yeah, just lay a couple of them out there. Not hard, just lay them on towards the wall, towards the walls. So we're going to get a couple of those out there. Okay, then what we're going to do is, well, hold on. We will spread the mortar and bring it to the level of the 2x4 here. And what's nice is that it will stay in place. It's not going to slump like a wet mix will. And so we put the mortar up to the top of the 2x4 along the perimeter, and then we slope it on down to the drain, and we will have our sub pan ready to go. And so we put this first layer in under the vinyl so that the water that does get through the concrete shower base will get on top of the vinyl and then flow down into the drain. Okay, so that is pretty much all you need to see for now, and we're gonna get this done. So hang on a few minutes and I will show you what we have when we're done. Go ahead. Right here.
In the corner?
Yeah, these two corners. Okay, here, I'll let you put that in. Be it known that the unknown mechanic is a highly trained, mechanically inclined individual that is absolutely beyond a doubt qualified to hold a camera and point it at the right direction. The only thing you can't trust him with is to watch your steak if you have to leave the dinner table. That might disappear. Okay. So we're just kind of roughing it in, and then we will force our slope in. So we're just going to kind of work on around here, there, four corners, or the four. How are we holding up?
We'll probably need more.
Yeah, we're gonna need more. Keep her coming. In fact, that hand scraper might be good.
Okay, go to the hand scraper.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, we are doing the last step here. Just had to make up a little bit of extra mortar to fill in around the drain. But look at that, nice and smooth. Has a nice slope to it, a 1/4 inch or so per foot. What are you doing? Hey, that was perfectly smooth there.
It won't be. It wasn't gonna be. You're gonna go over it again.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so we are going to work some of this under there. Just want to make sure that we have mortar smudged under the drain. Excuse me, to support it. Okay. So we'll just kind of start out with a rough spread of mortar, and then we will hit it with the trowel. Get back in there. Okay, see, I should really be doing this with two hands. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. For now, we have got our underneath the mortar bed in. So you can see we came up to the first layer of, the top of the 2x4 sill plate, and we used some VersaBond thin set mortar, scored up the concrete, wet it, and then we spread the thin set over it, and that is going to work as a bonding agent. And then we put this over it, a thick dry mix for the most part, and then the finish coat over that is a little bit thinner of a mix so that we could get some spreadability. And so now this is all set to go. We're going to install an OT PVC shower pan liner. It's an 80 mil thick liner, and you install it, you put it in as square as you can get it, and then you begin to fold the corners in on themselves and then tack them up to the wall. No cuts are to be made, no nails, no screws, staples, nothing below the water line, which is the top of the curb. In fact, I would make it a couple of inches higher than the curb. OTI does supply some very good instructions with the liner. Read those, pay attention to them, follow them. When you are installing this, make sure you press the liner into the corners down below. You can staple it up high, and that will hold it in position. You can install some spacer strips on the 2x6 wall studs to space out your Durock, and you do that to flatten out the Durock when you install your tile, because you can end up with a curved outward bottom because of the folds in the PVC. Another thing you need to do is make sure that you cut your 2-inch hole in the center of the pan, and then you put caulk under the shower pan liner onto the bottom half of the drain. Then you bolt the top half of the drain to that. That should seal it, and then you're ready to go. And there we go, kids. We have the shower membrane installed over the mortar sub base, and tomorrow we will do the concrete upper base, 1.5 inches thick, and it just follows the slope of the mortar base under it, which is about a inch per foot, 1/4 inch, or anyway, it's got a good slope to it. But yeah, so we have RedGard over this, and the whole stall is going to get mortared, skim coat mortared, and then RedGard coated. And we have the RedGard over the T111 because there's just the remote chance of sweating between the two panels here. So, so this will be cement board with RedGard and then tile. And then we have our shower base there. You just have a 2-inch P-trap under that, and then there is a 2-piece flange that you do to set up the drain for the shower. So you see the bottom piece there bolted down to the piece that is in the concrete, and we have the top adjusted for 1.5 inches height. And then another thing we do is we spread gravel around the flange there, because there's little weep holes for water to, if water will work its way down in the shower base, and when it gets down it will find those weep holes and then continue on down into the drain and out. So there you go. It's a nice, going to be a very nice little shower, and there's our curb there. And that's all mortared and clamped into place. The inside board, there's no screws on the inside, but it is mortared and then clamped in place. And then when we fill this with concrete, the concrete will hold that in place. And there you go. All right. Okay, good, no water. So you want to make sure that you get any concrete that might be settling in down there, because that will screw up your drain. So anyway, we can see there's no water down there. That's the important thing. And also vacuuming it out unclogs the weep holes too. Okay.
Just like that?
Yep.
I don't hear anything.
No. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, look down the hole.
Okay, so we are getting ready to put our concrete in on the shower base. And one of the things you want to do is put some rock around the base of the drain. And that is going to facilitate water going down the drain that seeps through the tile and everything, concrete tile and all. So you don't want to have just a bit of concrete under, or rock under here, to keep the weep holes open. Okay, so make sure that I have at least a finger's gap under here. So we are beginning to put our concrete mix in there, and we mixed it up a bit on the thick side. You want to have your concrete thick because you're trying to avoid slump, which is, if you see when I press down on it, it spreads and flattens out. And that's what you're trying to minimize. So I am trying to massage the cement in and around over the rocks that we placed in there, and then I am trying to press the concrete and aggregate inside of it down so that I can get my trowel in under that drain cap, the drain piece there. And we need to have that drain piece exposed on the edges there because the mortar and tile is going to go against that. And so you want to have your finished mortar and tile to be just a little bit higher than the level of that drain so that the water flows across down the tile and into the drain. You don't want the tile to be below the drain, if anything, just a little above it, and that way you do not have any pooling issues at the drain because the tile is too low. Okay, so you see I've got about a 12-inch square trowel there. And what you really want to use is about a 10-inch rounded end trowel. This trowel is just a little too long to be using in this space, and so I do have some trouble working the concrete around with it. I keep bumping into things, and the length of it is just about the length from the drain to the curb and the back wall, and so I keep hitting that, and it throws off my stroke. So what we've done is around the perimeter of the shower there, we took a 2x4 and drew a pencil line in. You can just see it over there in the middle of the left side there in the upper center of the image. And I'm going to fill that in a minute. But you put a straight edge line 1.5 inches thick all around the perimeter of the shower, and then you slope down to the drain in the center, and you'll see me working the nose of the trowel in under the drain there, and that way I know that I have the clearance for the mortar and tile when we do the mortar and tile. And if the tile does need to come up higher, we can use more thin set mortar under it to get it up to the level to flow just above the height of the drain so that it flows smoothly in and down the drain. So you see, I'm just kind of using the nose of the trowel and using underneath the drain there to guide the trowel around in a circle, and that circle gives me a nice smooth slope up to the edges. And so there's this layer here with the concrete largely is all about 1 inch, I'd say 1.25 inches at the drain and 1.5 inches at the wall. And it follows mostly, we've already built slope in to the layer underneath, the mortar bed under the vinyl. And then this layer here, we are leveling it on the 1.5 inch line all around the perimeter, and then sloping down under the drain in the center. And so you see, I'll just keep working around that. And it would be a lot nicer if I had that rounded edge trowel because this trowel kind of catches, and you'll see that I have to kind of keep working things because I dig and catch. Okay, so we're just kind of wrapping up here, making a few more passes to make sure that we have a good slope all around, and then if we do need to do any elevation work around the perimeter, we can do that with a little bit extra thin set at the edges. But for the most part, there's going to be a pretty good slope from the edge down to the drain. And so we have all of our PVC liner is sealed up, and when this is done, we will do a drain test to make sure that everything is working properly. And that's probably something that we should have done before we put the concrete in the PVC, but we were working different projects and kind of forgot to do that. So we will do our leak test, and we can still address any leak issues. I don't think there will be any, though, because there's nowhere to leak. We have all of our corners are folded and turned up, so there are no cuts down below the waterline. Okay, so keep watching. The settles a bit, and then we'll try it again. See, I can't maneuver this without crashing and hitting something, damn it. Then let's see how our bathroom is doing here. Alright, now my assisting light should be kicking on, but it isn't. But anyway, the shower stall is looking very nice. Very happy with that. It'll be ready to do tile here in a few days. Okay.